My beloved child, a moment is approaching that has been hidden behind silence for longer than you realize. Something connected to the day you first crossed paths with a certain person has remained locked inside their heart, carefully protected and rarely spoken about. The truth has traveled with them through every season, through every change, and through every step that followed that unforgettable encounter. What seemed like an ordinary day carried a meaning that neither of you fully understood at the time. There were details unnoticed by your eyes but remembered deeply by their soul. There were emotions they never expressed, thoughts they never shared, and feelings they believed were safer to keep hidden. The secret is not rooted in darkness or harm. It is connected to a memory they have revisited again and again when no one else was watching. While life continued moving forward, that first meeting remained alive inside them, replaying itself in quiet moments. The reason this message has found you today is because the silence around that memory is beginning to weaken. What was once hidden is slowly finding its way toward the light. Events are aligning in ways that will allow honesty to replace uncertainty. Archangel Michael says that many things happen behind the scenes before truth reaches the surface. The answers you seek are often moving toward you long before you become aware of them. Divine timing has been arranging circumstances that will make understanding possible. This person remembers far more than they have ever admitted. They remember the atmosphere, the emotions, and the unexpected feeling that entered their heart during that first encounter. Even details that seem insignificant to others have remained vivid within them. Type Amen 111 if this message resonates with your heart. For a long time they convinced themselves that keeping this secret was the right choice. They believed that speaking openly would complicate matters or create situations they were not prepared to face. Their silence became a shield they carried everywhere. Yet every shield eventually becomes heavy. There were moments when they almost revealed everything. There were opportunities when the truth stood at the edge of their lips. Still, fear stepped forward and stopped them before the words could escape. My beloved child, understand that some people hide important truths not because they wish to deceive, but because they fear vulnerability. They worry about being misunderstood. They worry about changing the balance of a connection that already means so much to them. The memory of your first meeting carries a significance they never expected. What seemed simple on the outside felt powerful on the inside. That realization startled them. Type Amen 222 if you believe truth arrives at the perfect time. They have watched how life unfolded since then. They have observed the twists, the delays, and the unexpected turns. Through it all, the memory remained untouched. At times they questioned whether their feelings were real. At times they attempted to dismiss what they felt. At times they tried convincing themselves that the memory should no longer matter. But it continued to matter. It remained present in ways they could not explain. Every meaningful connection leaves an imprint. Some imprints fade with time, while others grow stronger. This particular memory became stronger. Archangel Michael says that what is genuine cannot be erased simply because it is ignored. Truth waits patiently. It does not disappear. Type Amen 333 if your heart is ready for clarity. There is something remarkable about the secret they carry. It is not only about what happened that day. It is also about what they felt during that moment. The feelings arrived suddenly. The feelings arrived unexpectedly. The feelings arrived before they had any chance to prepare for them. That surprised them more than anything else. They did not expect someone they had just met to leave such a lasting impression. They did not expect a brief encounter to remain alive in their thoughts. They certainly did not expect the memory to stay with them for this long. Yet that is exactly what happened. My beloved child, the heart often recognizes significance before the mind understands it. While logic searches for explanations, the soul quietly observes deeper truths. This person has spent considerable time reflecting on that first meeting. They have replayed conversations. They have remembered expressions. They have considered possibilities that once seemed impossible. The secret involves an emotional realization that occurred much earlier than they ever admitted. Type Amen 444 if you trust divine timing. There were periods when distance seemed to place everything out of reach. There were seasons when communication felt limited. There were moments when circumstances appeared to create separation. Yet the memory remained. Yet the memory remained. Even during challenging periods, they could not completely let go of what they felt on that first day. The significance followed them. Many people enter our lives briefly and leave little impact. Others arrive and create a lasting impression without even trying. You became one of those unforgettable impressions in their story. This realization became difficult for them to ignore. The longer they remained silent, the more powerful the secret became. What began as a private thought evolved into something much deeper. What began as curiosity transformed into reflection. Reflection transformed into understanding. Understanding transformed into acceptance. Acceptance is what is guiding them now. Type Amen 555 if you are ready for blessings and breakthroughs. A shift is occurring within them. They are becoming more comfortable with honesty. They are becoming less controlled by fear. They are becoming more willing to acknowledge what they have carried inside. This shift is important. Without it, the truth might have remained hidden much longer. My beloved child, every revelation has its appointed season. Some truths emerge quickly. Others require patience before they can be fully expressed. The secret connected to your first meeting belongs to the second category. Time has been preparing the ground. Time has been teaching lessons. Time has been creating maturity. Now the conditions are changing. There is a growing desire within them to stop carrying this alone. The burden of silence is becoming heavier than the risk of honesty. That realization marks a turning point. Type Amen 666 if you choose faith over fear. You may have sensed pieces of this without fully understanding them. Sometimes intuition notices what words cannot explain. Sometimes the spirit recognizes movement before visible evidence appears. The energy around this situation is shifting. Doors that once seemed closed are becoming easier to open. Conversations that once felt impossible are becoming more natural. Opportunities for truth are increasing. Archangel Michael says that hidden matters often surface gradually. Small signs appear first. Then understanding follows. Pay attention to moments of unexpected communication. Pay attention to unusual reminders. Pay attention to meaningful coincidences. These things can serve as indicators that something important is unfolding. This does not mean every event carries a dramatic message. It simply means awareness can help you recognize what is already moving into place. Type Amen 777 if you welcome positive changes into your life. The secret itself is connected to admiration that began much earlier than you realized. Long before certain words were spoken, respect had already formed. Long before certain feelings were acknowledged, they already existed. That truth has remained hidden. Not because it lacked importance. Because it felt too important. The significance of the secret made it difficult to share. When something matters deeply, people often become cautious. They hesitate. They analyze every possible outcome. That is exactly what happened here. This person spent more time thinking than speaking. More time wondering than expressing. More time observing than revealing. Yet silence cannot permanently contain what the heart continues to hold. My beloved child, understand that honesty grows stronger when people stop running from their own emotions. That process is taking place now. Type Amen 888 if abundance and truth belong in your future. A chapter of uncertainty is slowly approaching its conclusion. The confusion that once surrounded this situation is losing its power. Greater clarity is beginning to emerge. You do not need to force events. You do not need to chase answers. You do not need to create pressure. Allow what is meant to unfold to arrive naturally. The truth carries its own momentum. It knows how to find its way forward. Archangel Michael says that patience often protects blessings before they arrive. What seems delayed is sometimes being carefully prepared. This message serves as a reminder that hidden truths cannot remain hidden forever. Eventually, honesty becomes stronger than fear. Eventually, authenticity becomes stronger than hesitation. The day you first met was never as ordinary as it appeared. That moment carried meaning. That moment carried purpose. That moment carried a memory that has stayed alive inside another heart. And now the season of revelation draws closer. Before this message comes to an end, remember something important. Your value does not depend upon what another person reveals. Your worth does not depend upon what another person feels. Your light remains powerful regardless of any outcome. The purpose of this message is not dependency. The purpose of this message is encouragement. The purpose of this message is hope. Trust that what belongs in your life will find its way toward you. Trust that clarity arrives when the time is right. Trust that peace can exist even before every answer appears. This person has carried a secret about the day you first met. The weight of that secret is becoming difficult to hold. The desire to speak honestly is growing stronger. The moment of revelation is moving closer. And as truth finds its voice, understanding will replace uncertainty. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. Type Amen $9.99 if you believe blessings are already on their way. My beloved child, continue moving forward with confidence. Continue embracing hope. Continue trusting that what is meant for you cannot miss you. A new chapter is approaching. A hidden truth is approaching. A moment of clarity is approaching. And the story is not finished yet. My beloved child, as this message continues, there is still more that needs to be understood about the secret that has remained hidden for so long. The story did not stop on the day you first met. The impact of that moment continued growing in ways neither of you could fully see. While you were focused on your own path, this person was carrying thoughts they rarely shared with anyone. They appeared calm on the surface, but deep inside they often found themselves revisiting memories connected to you. What seemed like a simple encounter became a reference point in their journey. There were days when they convinced themselves they should move on from those thoughts. There were moments when they believed enough time had passed to leave everything behind. Yet every attempt to completely release the memory somehow brought them back to it. The connection between memory and emotion can be powerful. Certain experiences leave impressions that remain long after the moment itself has passed. This first meeting became one of those experiences. Type Amen 123 if you believe divine timing is working in your favor. The truth is that they noticed something special before they ever admitted it. They recognized qualities within you that stood apart from what they usually encountered. Those qualities remained in their mind long after the conversation ended. At first they dismissed those feelings as temporary. They assumed the impression would fade with time. Instead, time seemed to strengthen what they remembered. My beloved child, there are moments in life that carry more meaning than we realize when they occur. Only later do we understand why those moments remained so vivid. Only later do we recognize their significance. This person has experienced that realization repeatedly. They have looked back and wondered why your meeting felt different. They have questioned why the memory refused to disappear. They have reflected on the unusual sense of familiarity they felt. Even when life became busy, the memory remained. Even when circumstances changed, the memory remained. Even when distance created separation, the memory remained. Type Amen 234 if you welcome clarity and understanding. Archangel Michael says that some connections leave impressions because they are part of a larger lesson. They encourage growth, reflection, and transformation. They awaken awareness that may not have existed before. That is what happened here. Your presence became part of a lesson they were not expecting. Your influence reached places within them they rarely allowed others to touch. Without realizing it, you inspired reflection. Without realizing it, you encouraged change. Without realizing it, you helped them see aspects of themselves they had overlooked. The secret they carry is connected not only to how they felt about you, but also to how meeting you affected them personally. They became more aware of their own heart. They became more aware of what truly mattered. Type Amen 345 if you trust the journey ahead. There were moments when they wanted to tell you everything. There were moments when honesty felt within reach. Yet every time they approached that point, uncertainty pulled them backward. Fear can be persuasive. Fear can create hesitation. Fear can convince people that silence is safer than truth. For a long time they listened to that fear. But fear is beginning to lose its influence. The voice of honesty is becoming stronger. The desire for authenticity is becoming stronger. The need to express what has been hidden is becoming stronger. My beloved child, growth often occurs quietly before it becomes visible. People change internally long before others notice the transformation. This person has been experiencing that kind of growth. The version of them that once remained silent is slowly being replaced by a version that values openness. Type Amen 456 if you believe positive changes are happening. As this transformation continues, they are beginning to understand something important. They are realizing that silence has not protected them from uncertainty. They are realizing that withholding the truth has not brought peace. Instead, the secret continued occupying space within their thoughts. It continued appearing during quiet moments. It continued resurfacing during times of reflection. It continued reminding them that unfinished truths rarely disappear on their own. Archangel Michael says that freedom often arrives through honesty. What is spoken openly loses the power to create internal conflict. What is acknowledged honestly can finally begin to heal. This person is moving closer to that understanding. They are recognizing that authenticity creates opportunities that fear cannot create. They are recognizing that honesty can open doors that silence keeps closed. They are recognizing that truth deserves a chance to be heard. Type Amen 567 if you are ready for new beginnings. My beloved child, there is a reason patience has been emphasized throughout this message. Many people become discouraged when answers do not arrive immediately. Many people assume delays mean nothing is happening. Yet important developments often occur beneath the surface. Seeds grow underground before they become visible. Preparation happens before manifestation. Growth happens before revelation. This situation has followed that pattern. While little appeared to be changing externally, significant changes were taking place internally. Thoughts were evolving. Perspectives were shifting. Courage was developing. The result is a person who is becoming increasingly ready to acknowledge what they have hidden. That readiness matters. Without readiness, truth remains trapped. With readiness, truth finds expression. Type Amen 678 if you believe blessings are getting closer. There is also another aspect of this secret that deserves attention. The memory of your first meeting became a source of comfort during difficult periods of their life. When challenges appeared, they often found themselves reflecting on positive moments connected to you. That memory represented something meaningful. It represented hope. It represented possibility. It represented a reminder that unexpected encounters can leave lasting impacts. Because of this, the memory became even more valuable. The emotional significance increased over time. What began as a moment became a memory. What became a memory became a source of reflection. What became a source of reflection became part of their personal journey. My beloved child, never underestimate the impact kindness can have on another person. Never underestimate how a single moment can remain meaningful for years. Never underestimate how your presence may influence someone in ways you never fully see. Type Amen 789 if you choose faith and confidence. The season ahead carries opportunities for greater understanding. It carries opportunities for conversations that once seemed unlikely. It carries opportunities for truths that have waited patiently for their moment. Do not allow fear to distract you from peace. Do not allow uncertainty to steal your confidence. Do not allow delays to convince you that nothing is happening. Continue focusing on your growth. Continue investing in your purpose. Continue walking forward with trust. Archangel Michael says that your future should never be built entirely around another person's actions. Your future should be built upon faith, wisdom, and steady progress. When truth arrives, let it add clarity rather than becoming the foundation of your identity. That perspective will keep you strong. That perspective will keep you balanced. That perspective will keep you moving forward. Type Amen 890 if you are ready to receive positive energy. As this chapter unfolds, remember that every person carries untold stories. Every person carries memories they rarely discuss. Every person carries truths that take time to express. This individual is no different. The secret they carry has been shaped by emotion, reflection, and time. The desire to reveal it continues growing. The courage to speak continues growing. The readiness to be honest continues growing. And as these things grow, the distance between silence and revelation becomes smaller. My beloved child, continue trusting the process. Continue choosing peace over worry. Continue believing that clarity arrives exactly when it is needed. The hidden truth is moving closer to the surface. The silence is becoming weaker. The story is still unfolding. And the next chapter may reveal far more than anyone expected. Type Amen 1010 if you believe something beautiful is being prepared for your future.